I'm a victim. Oh, my horrible father did all these horrible. And then you get into the story, and it turns out, well, actually, I was a shithead, right? I tried to get revenge. I broke their shit. I TP'd his house and did horrible things to him because he made me face the consequence of my actions.
No, that was because he made my sister cry. I vandalized because he made my sister.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing, right? It's like it seems like it's kind of this perpetual war.
I am taking accountability.
How?
I literally said all the actions I've done are me.
They're based on you. So how's it his fault? You say it's both our faults. It's your fault.
It is my fault.
It's your fault.
But it is also
It's not also. It's just this. Just your fault. You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's no also. Stop that part. Okay. Just me.
There's like people react, and when you're a 17-year-old girl, you're literally not even an adult yet. So, you
were a week away from being 18.
But you really think an 18-year-old is like actually an adult? Like
you think
legally they are, but do you expect them to act that mature?
If you're willful and disobedient inside your father's home, what other recourse does he have but to say, go taste the world? And then when you do, and you realize how awful it can be without dad's protection, perhaps you'll come around at
Maybe
some point.
It's because when I was like 10 and like having a tantrum as a kid, normal 10-year-old thing. Maybe regular timeout would have been cool, but he literally taped my mouth shut, taped my arms behind my back, taped me to a chair, and put me in the garage for the night.
Okay, well that's different.
So that's probably why.
That's a threshold delineation now.
Well, I'm just gonna intervene. This is obviously making her uncomfortable.
So what? So what if it makes her personally
uncomfortable? What I'm saying is
hang on. Why does everybody need to intervene for an uncomfortable conversation?
No,
it's going to be uncomfortable. She's fine. It's fine. Let us finish the convo.
It's just
really quick. What's the purpose of your intervention? Is it to stop the conversation?
No. I'm just saying that. Okay, you're making the point that she did a lot of things and she faced consequences. Her dad forced her to face those consequences. Yeah. But we're also hearing little snippets of how her childhood was not the best, and she was not treated the way she should be treated as a child. 1 second ago,
we started to hear this.
Yeah, but
because we're peeling back the onion, and
that's what I'm doing, right? And so now we're getting into the heart of the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm not excusing that.
I'm not like.
Listen, I'm not excusing that. That's a whole different level of shit, right?
So I think that.
But kids act out because they don't feel loved.
Because he treated me like that as a young kid. Because of his actions, that's probably why I acted out as a teenager.
You learn about this in like child
Is
psychology.
It? Why do you act that out as a teenager?
Because I finally had freedom to do anything. Like I had a car and I can do stuff.
So was it because you taped your arms behind your back when you were a kid, or is it because when you felt like you could do the thing you wanted to do, you wanted to do it and you did it?
Yeah, because I'm finally
wanted to do
my self.
Yeah.
I think
without
go ahead.
I think that there's still accountability for being like a father and providing a stable relationship with your daughter. And if she acts out, to provide a punishment that fixes the behavior, not worsens it down the line. Like I don't really agree with extreme corporal punishment and things like that. And there's literally psychology and
but we're not talking about extreme corporal punishment. It's not corporal punishment to set boundaries inside of your home, and if a person does not adhere to the boundaries, you don't allow them to be in your home anymore.
I just mean in this specific example, the relationship and the upbringing that she may have had was not a regular, stable relationship. It's harder as a young person to know how to feel, how to express yourself when you are taught that it's met with negative
outcomes. I get all that, but the thing is we literally learned about the taping of the arms and shit 1 minute ago. So before that, the idea here was only that these were consequences which were set down for the actions that you did, right? Which you said I take accountability for those actions. Now suddenly there's a pivot to when I was 10, I got duct taped and this and that. But
what I'm saying
before there was none of that.
Well, that's what I was saying was uncomfortable for her to speak up about the taping behind her back.
Because how he treated me as a kid, that does impact how I will,
progress.
Progress and able to handle my own emotions. It traumatizing as a kid. So then
I don't know, it's just weird. I would think you would lead with that, right? Think you would lead with
no, not really.
Personally, you don't want to out your parents.
Not everybody's going to lead with that.
I would out my dad on this, the things he's done.
But
I would not.
I'm only bring that up now because
because you're pressing her.
You're acting like
I am pressing.
I was only acting out as a teen, but you don't know what I went through
Well, I mean, that's true, but it's like there's no way for me to do anything but take your word to it, right? So I just will. I'm just saying that it's very normal for teenagers to act out and be ridiculous assholes and face consequences for that. Yeah. And then to cope later and say the reason that is because such and such is just a real meanie head, and then you get into the heart of it and you find out, well, wait, actually you were just kind of an asshole, right? You're just an asshole.
I was probably an asshole because how he treated me when I couldn't defend myself.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that part, right? I just heard about it a minute ago.
Yeah. Well,
so
it's like leading by example, like if your parental figures are not, not necessarily A+, but if they do things that kind of disobey your boundaries and like make you feel scared to talk about how you feel or whatever, it kind of closes off that part of like your life. I don't know.
Yeah, but sometimes that's good. Those are boundaries. Parents have to have boundaries too. Mm-hmm. The parents are going to set up boundaries too. They're going to be like, okay, look, like I don't want to hear bullshit excuses for X, Y, and Z. Valid. Just do it, right? That's totally reasonable and rational. Yeah. The problem is that it seems to me that modern women, especially, and it's not just modern, okay? Even in the 90s when I was growing up, this was a thing. That teenage women were often.
The difference between you and I as a first-generation Asian American is that when I messed up growing up, I got my ass whooped and learned from it. Actions have consequences, let's face it. Thank you, who cares for the TTS, appreciate it. Yeah. You said when you in the 90s, when you were growing up.
Yeah, even when in the 90s when I was growing up, teenagers had huge issues with authority. If you weren't bending over to kiss a girl's ass, right, then you were a mean, abusive, whatever. And this trend has just kind of continued, right, where women try to dictate what behavior parents are supposed to have or not have, and it's all based around femininity, no masculinity, which is the consequence part. And the consequence part is the important part.
I think it's how you execute that. I think it's really important to, like, make it known to your child, like, hey, I still love you, and even though
that's
there
a
is
feminine
a
approach.
True, because I'm a woman. And
yeah, I know, and I'm giving you the non-feminine approach. I'm saying that the non-feminine approach is to say, okay, you fucked up, here's the consequence. Not an affirmation of like, you can do whatever you want and you will still have unfettered access to me.
What I mean is I'm agreeing with you. So I agree. I think
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200.01.
Thank you, Grid 1. Appreciate it, man.
No one has a regular, stable relationship. Parents make mistakes, but does not excuse your bad behavior and poor life choices. Coping and seething about the past does no good. Get your shite straight.
I don't know. Like, interestingly enough, she took way more responsibility for the things that she did than most of the women who were on here. To be perfectly honest, like I'll give that credit to you.
Yeah. Grid 1, thank you for the TTS. You were saying you were saying you agree with Andrew, but
more like what I mean is like how you go about repercussions for your actions with your child is really important, I feel. And it's like the stability and consistency of that. It's not like, oh, I spoke out of turn and now I'm scared of my safety. It's like, oh, I spoke out of turn, I'll go to timeout. It's like the difference in level of severity and irregularity of that.
What's too severe?
I think it's kind of hard to pinpoint.
That's right. It's hard to pinpoint. Because it's hard to pinpoint, right? We're in this kind of nebulous area of we know it when we see it. Right. So like you and I would agree. Duct taping a child in a garage, that's too fucking severe. Yeah. Right? That's way too much, right? On the other hand, you've consistently broken my rules nonstop and are causing nothing but discord in our household. You need to go. I don't think that's too severe.